His seniors from Benson High School in Portland,
Hi.
and their radio station is KBPS,
Yeah.
and they all do a great job with it. And guys, I'm just going to open it by asking Freya a question she's been asked a million times, how she got started in this, and then you guys can take it from there.
Yeah, it sounds great, Teresa. And Freya, it's such an honor to chat with you. And just one fun fact, KBPS is the world's oldest high school radio station.
Well, you know, I was
First
just saying that. I said, you guys have been around since like the 20s, right?
Yeah, we were just talking
19,
about that.
Yeah.
1923. So
Oh,
we're all in
Over 100
good
years.
company here.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
so Freya, tell us about how you got started in all this.
Yeah, no. So I feel like there was never like an exact moment where I was like, this is what I want to do. There was never a kind of like realization moment. It's always just been something that has kind of been like embedded in me, something I've always loved doing. And I think it all kind of started, especially like my passion for music, when just from watching like High School Musical and Descendants and Zombies when I was younger, I think singing along and learning the words and things like that really inspired me and got me into it. And I think singing all the time and stuff, it was always just like a hobby. It was never anything more than that. I don't think I ever realized until, a couple years later that it could be anything more than that. And then during COVID, when we were in lockdown, I was so bored and I was like, oh, let me try some acting lessons. So I got into acting classes and started with an acting agency and started doing auditions and self-tapes. I mean, even still at that point, I think it was still probably quite a bit of a hobby and just a bit of fun, still not really realizing that anything more could come of it. I did a couple small things like a voiceover of like a video game, and like I did a little commercial and things like that, but things that like only my family would see if they like really deep dived and searched for it. And then after doing lots more auditions, I in 2022 I auditioned for something called Junior Eurovision, which is like a singing competition, and I ended up representing the UK at Junior Eurovision, and that was really like such an amazing platform, which then helped me get seen by Disney and things like that, which kind of began like the domino effect of everything crazy happening. So that's kind of how I got into it. It was always just like very, not like natural, because that sounds like cringe, but like really like organic, just kind of like feel like I've just always loved it, rather than, finding my love. It's always just kind of been there.
Thank you so much for that introduction. It's great to meet you with you, Freya. My name's Connor. I'm the chief of promotions here at KBPS.
Hi.
And I just wanted to know, when you're not making music, what else do you like to spend your time doing?
Honestly, it's so nice to meet you. It's honestly really, really tricky. I feel like I'm always making music and I'm always, doing things like this, which I love, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But when I'm like really, really, really switched off, it's honestly just like I'm in bed watching Netflix or like watching YouTube, or I'm so chilled, or maybe going out with my friends. Me and my best friend, we love to go to I call it a cinema. I think you guys call it like the movie theater. We go to the movie theater and we'll watch like movies and then rate them. That's something we love to do. I love going shopping, but just really just, chill things like going for coffee shops, going out for lunch, going out for dinner. Honestly, just things like that. I love things that involve food and watching TV. They're like
I
my
feel that.
two top likes.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Tell me about the first song that you ever wrote.
The first song that I ever wrote, it's so bad. It's called Monster on My Shoulder. No one's ever gonna hear this song. I think I must have been 8 or 9 maybe when I wrote this song, and I didn't show anyone this song till I was maybe like 11 or 12, and I thought it was gonna be the next like chart-topping anthem. It was about like being your own biggest critic, and it's like a cool concept. It was about being your own biggest critic and like thinking there's like a monster on your shoulder telling you nasty things, but really like you're the monster. So that was the concept of it, and I literally remember writing this song and thinking I was like this was going to be the life-changing song. It was going to be the pinnacle of everything. And now I listen back and I still have like the notebook where I first wrote it. And it's nice to look back on, but it's also slightly mortifying because it's so bad.
Yeah.
But the passion and the inspiration was there. The talent was something that, I think developed later on. I think the passion was always there, not the talent. But no, it was a fun one. And it's really nice to kind of have that memory and knowing what was my first ever song I fully wrote. But that was the first one. And I hope that my songwriting has gotten better since then.
When I listen to your songs, I'm certainly impressed by them.
Thank you.
It's really good to know that it gets better. I've been
Yes.
writing some songs and I'm like, ooh, lyrics,
Oh my gosh, no,
They're
I'm
hard.
sure they're amazing.
Who do you look up to? Like anyone?
Yeah, I think like musical wise, I think some of my big like inspirations and people who I really look up to right now, it's Gracie Abrams. I really, really love her and like her lyricism and everything. I think she's really just like very cool. And I think something I love so much about her songs and her music in particular, which I feel like a lot of other artists write quite cryptically and like metaphorically, which sometimes I can find as a listener, I can be a bit more like trying to understand and break down what every lyric means, but hers feels so conversational and things that I would literally say in a class or like things I would say while gossiping with my friends. Like it sounds like that. So just with the melody. So I feel like it feels so conversational and so relatable and something I can listen to and be like, I've said that and I can relate to that. So it's nice to know that I can relate to her musically. And I really hope that, especially like in songs that come out in later years, that, the inspiration shows and that hopefully my songs can feel conversational and grounded and like something you can relate to and understand as well.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's a really cool quality to strive for. I just have one more question before I'm going to hand it off to another student. You, since you got into music so young, you probably didn't go to like high school the same way as everyone else did. Um, do you ever wish that you went to high school, or what are your thoughts on that?
So I went to an in-person school up until last year, and I feel like I went there and I really enjoyed it, but I think it got to a stage where I was constantly behind from missing a couple days here and there for auditions or for maybe like fittings or for events and things like that. I would just felt like I was constantly behind and constantly trying to do catch up. And I think my homeschool program it's so great for me at the minute in the sense of I do my maths, I do my English, I do my science, and it gives me a great sense of normality. So from a subject perspective, I think I don't really crave the high school, experience. Homeschool works amazing. But lots of my friends have started going to prom and school dances, and a part of me is like, oh, I would love that. So if anyone wants to ask me to a prom, I'm 100% gonna go. But no, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I miss. So maybe I'll do a music video at a prom so I can like experience like a fake one. So I think that's probably one of the main things that I would have loved, like a high school experience like that. And I think going to a high school probably gives you a lot of great concepts for like songs, because I'm sure so much stuff goes on at high school.
Sure does.
Yeah, but I think probably just the school dances. I think that looks so fun. And also that's not in the UK. We don't really have many school dances. It's more like you have one prom and then that's it. Whereas no, you guys have like winter formal and I'm trying to think of other ones my friends have been going to recently, prom and everything. So yeah, that's one thing I do wish like I had a bit of that.
For sure. All right, Jason, you want to take some questions?
Thank you so much.
Hi, Freya. My name is Jason. I'm a KBPS
Hiya.
senior, and I was wondering, what is your dream music collaboration?
Oh, that's hard. I don't think I've been asked that. Maybe like a guy would be cool to do like I feel like someone who I really like, and I think I saw him live. Well, I saw him perform at the Grammys, and then I saw him at a show a couple months ago. I feel like Benson Boone would be a really fun collaboration. His voice
Oh
is
my God.
insane, and his writing's insane too. So I'd love to do like a big, crazy harmony song with him. I think that would be a really fun one. And then obviously, like I'd love to write a song with Gracie Abrams and just be in the room, just be a fly on the wall while she writes the song would be great. But in terms of collaboration, I think Benson Boone is one that I would love to do someday. Realistically, I don't know if it could happen, but girl can dream. A girl can dream. I think that would be a really fun one.
That would actually be like really awesome. Like I think your guys' vocals would be so like perfect together.
Yes.
Another question I had was how did you land your role as Nova in the upcoming Zombies 4 movie, and what is it like working with Disney?
So the audition came about, I want to say November last year, around that kind of time. And at the very beginning, it's very kind of cryptic. So you don't really know much about the project or, things like that. Sometimes you don't even know what you're auditioning for. But for this one, I knew it was Zombies 4 and I knew my character was Nova. And we got sent a couple sides of a script. And I did my self-tape. I just sent in a self-tape of me reading it. I read in English and American. I don't think that might be, I don't know if that's been said before, but anyways, I read in English and American. It was still very up in the air, if she was going to be English or American. And I sent in my self-tape, kind of just tried to forget about it, kept my fingers crossed, but you sent it in, I did what I could do. And then a couple weeks later, I got a call and they were like, we want you to hop on a call with the producers and the director of the movie. So I did. I hopped on, so nervous. I get really nervous for auditions and things, so I was freaking out. And I did my audition and, again, same thing, fingers crossed, hope for the best. And then it was Christmas and New Year's. So it went pretty much radio silent because everyone's off work, which was torturous because I was like, I just want to know. I was itching to find out. And then I got a call in the new year saying, would you want to come out to LA for some chemistry reads? Because obviously Nova, she has quite a big the co-star is a male co-star, and they were like chemistry reads just to make sure the chemistry's there with lots of different boys. I was like, great, bet, I'm out. So I flew out to LA, met loads of guys, we read the scene, flew home and hope for the best. I feel like that is the literally every single time, it's just hope for the best. And then I didn't hear anything for a couple weeks, and I started to mourn and like grieve the role and be like, okay, well, this one wasn't meant for me. What can you do about it? And that same day when I was so upset because I thought, I had to start like grieving this part, I got a call and I found out that I booked Nova, which was insane. I was bawling my eyes out, crying, and then a couple of weeks later, I flew out to New Zealand to shoot, which was amazing. So that was kind of the audition process. It was quite long, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And I grew really close to my co-star Malachi during that whole process. And then working with Disney is just a dream. Like I've grown up such a big fan of Disney and all of the projects they've done, and loads of the actresses and actors and musicians that have come out of Disney. So to work with them is just really surreal and just like nothing short of a dream come true.
That is actually like amazing. Yeah. No, like growing up watching Disney movies and stuff like that. It's just really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, nice to meet you, Freya.
So nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Hey Freya, my name is Razor. I am one of the seniors here at KBPS, and thank you for taking the time to talk with us. We do appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Yes, of course. One of the things our teacher was, trying to teach us here with this interview was to ask questions that are outside of the box, not questions that are typically asked all the time. And so I
Oh,
thought
should I be nervous?
it was really cool. But yeah, no, it's not only exciting for us to ask the questions or the interviewee, but it's also, entertainment for the listeners.
Yes.
I have a couple of questions if that's okay.
No, of course.
Yeah. So hi. What habit would you like to break?
I love these kinds of questions. I'll answer, but I love the outside of the box questions. I feel like doing interviews, we can get so many of the same ones so many times. So fun ones are great. I bite my nails. I want to break this habit so bad. Oh, I have two. One is biting my nails. I love getting my nails done and getting them done long. I just pick them off. And it's such a bad habit. Like I'll get like acrylics or like gel X or anything, and I'll have them for like a shoot and they'll look great. And I just can't resist picking them. It's an awful habit. Another one is TikTok scrolling. I scroll for hours and hours and hours. It's such a bad habit. And I can't help it. I've started calling it a doom scroll. So whenever I'm just like doom scrolling on TikTok, bad habit. I really want to break it. I'm sure so many of us have this habit. But yeah, they're my two bad habits that I would love to break. They were my New Year's resolutions and I failed. So I'm just going to try again next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, this will be my last little question here. It's very interesting. have you ever taken anything from a hotel room?
Oh, I think I might have taken a robe once, but like I didn't really see it because then they charged me, and I was like, oh, so and like you take it, and it wasn't even on, like it was a fully accidental. I think I was on a shoot, and it was really cold on this shoot, and I was in like a small dress, and they were like, just take the robe out with you, and have that kind of thing. And I ended up going home in the robe because like I didn't end up going back to the room, not even intentional. And then I got charged. So I don't know if you'd consider it taking it because I actually did pay for it, but that was completely accidental. I'm not a thief. I would never take anything, but that was like accidental.
That's really funny. I'm sorry that happened, but hey, it was definitely something you learned.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. That's all the time we have, but thank you again to Moxie and the Hollywood Records. Mostly important is thank you, Freya Skye, for talking to us here on AM 1450 KBPS and kbps.am. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. It was so good to meet you guys.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks
Jacob.
for having us.